When you're selling your first home, first impressions aren't made in the kitchen. They're made online on all those home search sites. And what's the first thing that buyers notice? The thing that can make or break your chances of getting them through the door so they can make that golden offer: the paint. The right colors can actually increase your sales price. I'm talking thousands more in your pocket just from a trip to the paint store. And no, we're not talking neon green accent walls or TikTok trend disasters. These are tried and true shades that buyers can't resist. In this video, I'm breaking down the perfect paint colors that make your home feel brighter, bigger, and more expensive. Because seriously, who doesn't want that? So if you're thinking about selling your home in the next year or so, lean in. Get your game plan ready now so you can get to painting and watch those offers roll in later. Before we get into what to paint your home, we've got to talk about why paint matters so much when you're selling. Here's the truth. Once you decide to sell your house, it stops being your home and becomes a product. And just like any product, packaging matters. You wouldn't sell a car with dents and faded paint, so the same logic applies here. Paint is the packaging, and it's the first thing buyers notice online and in person. That bold emerald green accent wall that you loved for years, or that navy dining room that looks amazing during dinner parties, they might be your vibe, but your vibe might be the exact thing that makes buyers hesitate. Because the moment someone sees a room that feels too specific, they're doing the math in their head. How much is it going to cost to repaint this home? Is it covering something up? Can I live with this until I fix it? When buyers start subtracting before they've even made an offer, that's a problem. It adds up to lower perceived value, fewer showings, and longer days on market. Now, I'm not saying bold colors are bad in general. They're great for living in a space that feels personal and creative. But when you're selling, you're not designing for you anymore. You're designing for someone else's imagination. That's why we ditch the deep jewel tones, the TikTok teals, and the moody charcoal bedrooms. Because even if they look cool, they don't sell well. Instead, we shift to what works: clean, calm, inviting tones that give buyers space to imagine their own style. Think of it like this: you're not just painting walls, you're painting possibility. So if you want a faster sale and stronger offers, it's not about what colors make you happy. It's about what color makes buyers feel at home the moment they walk in. That's the strategy. And that's what we're diving into next. Now, I'm not going to call anybody out, but while I'm talking, you're going to see some examples of what not to do when prepping your home to sell. These are real listing photos, and every one of them has a common theme. They're working against the sale. You'll see bold colors, heavy accent walls, overly dark rooms, maybe even a color you loved in 2015 that's just not cutting it anymore. I'm looking at you, cool gray. Yep, I said it. Cool gray is on the way out. It had a good run. There was a time when every builder and every flipper slapped it on walls like it was HGTV gospel, but today it can make a home feel sterile, cold, and even a little outdated. Buyers are craving warmth now: soft, cozy tones that feel inviting, lived in, and fresh. And those icy grays, they're starting to signal this home hasn't been updated in a while. Same goes for super personal choices like the fire engine red dining rooms or moody purple bedrooms. Those might have felt like you, but when you're selling, it's not about you anymore. You're creating a space for someone else to imagine themselves in. And if they're too busy mentally repainting every room just to get there, they're probably not coming back for a second showing. The dark, the bold, the busy, it's all a reminder that what looks great for living doesn't always translate well whenever you're trying to sell. Stick with fresh, neutral, warm tones that photograph well, make spaces feel bigger, and give buyers that instant "I could live here" moment. That's how you create emotional connection, and that's what sells houses. All right, so now we've dragged on about the bad paint choices. Now, let's talk about the good stuff. If you're planning to sell in the next year, here's what you want on your walls: Off white warm grays, and warm whites. That's it. These are the chameleons of the paint world. They adapt to your lighting, your flooring, your furniture, even your buyer's imagination. They're clean, modern, and create a fresh, move in ready feel that buyers love. Off white warm grays are great because they still give you a little depth without being too cool or sterile. And think of them as the grown up version of those old school grays, but now with more warmth and less builder basic. And the warm whites, mwah, chef's kiss. They brighten up a space to make it feel bigger and creates a high-end model home vibe without being flashy. Kitchens, hallways, bedrooms, you cannot go wrong with a good warm white. The goal is to make buyers feel calm, welcomed, and already home. These colors do that without shouting for attention. Now, if you're even thinking about selling your home, whether it's 3 months from now or next spring, don't wait till the last minute. Paint is one of the cheapest and fastest ways to boost your home's value, and getting ahead of it gives you the edge. But here's the thing, every home is different. Lighting, layout, finishes, all of it plays a role. That's why I make it simple. Just head to gahomehub.com, answer a few quick questions, and together we'll get started on a custom game plan for your home. I'll even email you instantly your free seller's playbook. Not in the Atlanta area, it's not a problem. I've got a network of trusted agents all across the country who work just like I do. No pressure, just straight up help. So don't guess, get clarity instead, get strategy, and let's get your home sold for more. So let's get into the real reason that these paint colors work, because it's not about trendiness or personal taste. It's about buyer behavior. The people walking through your home or scrolling your listing on Zillow are overwhelmed. They're comparing a dozen homes, trying to make one of the biggest financial decisions of their life, and they're doing it fast. So when your home looks clean, calm, and move in ready, that's a win. It helps your home feel like it's a safe and smart choice. That's why warm whites and soft warm grays are outperforming bolder colors. They look good in listing photos, they match most decor, and they don't raise any red flags. Buyers don't want to walk in and mentally start subtracting for paint job needed, rooms feel dark, can't imagine my stuff here. You want them thinking things like, this looks easy. We can move right in. I don't need to spend more money. That's what warm neutrals do. They reduce friction and increase perceived value because a home that feels turnkey gets treated like one. And in today's market, where time on market can cost you thousands, speed matters. So if you're trying to appeal to the broadest range of serious buyers, buyers who are pre approved, ready to move, and willing to make strong offers, this is the strategy that gets you there. Bottom line, warm whites and soft warm grays don't just look nice, they work. And when paired with good lighting and smart staging, you're not just showing a home, you're showing buyers what their life could look like next week. All right, so we know warm whites and soft warm grays are where it's at. But let's talk about how to pick the right shade for your home. Because not all off whites are created equal, and what looks stunning in your friend's bright modern ranch might fall totally flat in your cozy traditional 2 story home. Step one, you've got to work with your home's lighting and fixed finishes. I'm talking about your flooring, your cabinets, countertops, stuff that's not going anywhere before you list. If your home has cooler gray tile or crisp white trim, you'll want to lean into the softer grayish tone. If you've got more warm wood tones or creamy trim, warm whites are where you need to be looking. Step two, test in the wild. Grab sample cans. Do not trust those tiny paint chips at the store. They lie like a bad dating profile. Paint a few swatches on different walls in the room, especially near windows, corners, and artificial light. Light changes everything. That soft beige might look warm and inviting at 10 a.m. and turn into a sad top by 6 p.m. And pro tip, don't paint right on the wall if you're not ready to commit. Use poster board or large peel and stick samples and move them around your space. That way, you're not stuck with five weird paint squares on your wall for the next 3 weeks while you decide. Step three, less is more. You don't need a different color in every room. In fact, using the same color or just one shade lighter or darker throughout creates flow, which makes your home feel larger, more cohesive, and more modern. And buyers feel that, even if they can't explain it. And listen, if this all still feels overwhelming, that's literally why I'm here. You don't have to guess. Head to gahomehub.com, answer a few questions, and I'll reach out and help you pick the right shades for your layout, your lighting, and what buyers are loving in your price point. And if you're not in the Atlanta area, just remember I've got a national network of top agents I trust to help you wherever you are. The goal is simple: no guesswork, just smart moves that put more money in your pocket when it's time to sell. So, yes, paint is powerful, but only if you pick the right one. Let's make sure you do. I'm Ben Dings, and I'll see you next time.